Alright, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah. I'm sorry, I am trying to move some things out of the way. It's a Friday Reads for the last 2 weeks. I had to film one last week, but I'm gonna be real with you. Life stuff. We've been cleaning a lot. My in-laws' house that we are currently working on cleaning so we can sell it, they held on to a lot of things. So we've been going through a lot of things. So I've been very tired come the weekends when it's like time to film and stuff. So we're doing 2 weeks today, and I will start off with a book that I forgot to talk about last video, and that was Honey by Imani Thompson. This doesn't come out, I don't believe, until April, so you've got a little time on this one. But it is fantastic. I loved it. This is a mystery, horror, slightly, thriller, a little bit of everything. It's about a girl who is bored with her life as a student in college. She's, well, not student, she's like an adjunct professor sort of situation. And she kind of inadvertently sends someone to the shadow realm, if you will. And so that happens, and she figures out she has a taste for that. She enjoys that, maybe more than she should enjoy it. And it kind of follows her as she unwinds down this path. And it was enthralling. Like, I didn't quite expect it to be as gripping as it was, but man, it was gripping. I was hooked. I couldn't put it down. I wanted to know what was happening next, and her slow, like, degradation into this was just very well done, very interesting, and at the end you're still left with questions like, what's going on? Her family history? What was that? Like, does her mom know? Was her mom like her? Like, oh man, I could have kept reading. I could have kept reading about this character and her family and her mom and everything that had happened. It was really, really fascinating. There was only a little bit of like a slow bit in the middle that I wasn't crazy about, but the rest of it was fantastic. So if you're looking for something like thriller, mystery, horror, it's more a thriller horror. That's a great one. I really do recommend it. It's a little outside of my comfort zone, but I had a great time. The next thing I finished, and I think I mentioned it. Wait, no, I did talk about that one last time. Okay, the next one I finished, not quite as enthralling. I finished Bloodfire Baby by Irene? I'm not sure how to say her last name, Carson. This is about a young mother just post-birth, like a few weeks. The baby doesn't even have a name yet, and she slowly unspools, like she slowly loses her mind. This will work really well for horror fans, I believe, especially people who really like horror around motherhood and stuff, but for me, this was a little too close to home. This character is suffering with severe postpartum depression that is slowly turning into a postpartum psychosis situation, and it's just a little too close to home, right? This is a situation, some of this is stuff I dealt with, and so it was very well written. If this author did not experience these things, she certainly interviewed the correct people, because that mental state was just captured very well. And so for the first portion of this, I was enjoying it, and I was like, oh man, this is really good. But then I realized it was really affecting my mood, and then the deeper and deeper into it I got, the more I was like, I'm really uncomfortable. I'm really not enjoying this. So I was not the appropriate person to read this, right? But it is very visceral, and it really ties in a lot to her family history and just being separated from that family's homeland. And a lot of it was good. A lot of it had a lot of promise and potential, but like I said, I'm not ever gonna do well with like grieving motherhood and like postpartum depression sort of situations, and that's what this focused on. So not so great for me. I did bounce back. I did bounce back real hard with 2 5-star reads, and then 2 not quite 5 stars but really good ones. So the first thing, I finally finished The Third Battle Mage Farmer. No one's surprised. I loved this. I read these on audio, and for a while I haven't been doing audio. Now I'm hella in an audio kick. Like, you'll see. I am burning through some audiobooks, and this was the first one, and I I loved it. I love all these. This is the end of a mini arc in Battle Mage Farmer. John, at the beginning of this series, he wants to start a farm. He wants to retire from army life. He was a soldier, and now he just wants to raise cows and chickens and be left alone. That doesn't work out, obviously. Does not work out. And he has this overarching quest. This is a lit RPG series. If you are not familiar, think Dungeon Crawler Carl. He has this overarching quest to stop the apocalypse, and he thinks just settling down and farming and relaxing and finding peace will do that. And this kind of culminates that, and we see what happens. We meet a new race of people in this, which was an absolute delight. We get more on the Moratori, which I really loved. A character unlocks another class, which was really cool. Like, this just had a whole lot of really awesome fight scenes and just great lore building. Lore building? Sure. World and lore building in this one. I loved it. I bought the fourth one, and the audiobooks for these were on sale for like $4 and $5 a few days ago. I highly recommend checking. If you're interested in this series, check that out. I didn't listen, or I'm not listening to the dramatized versions. I'm just listening to the Michael Kramer versions, and I think they're fantastic. So I highly recommend the series. I really, really do. I love it a lot. It's one of my top series. So please check this out if you have not. The first one is, you can just search Battle Mage Farmer. It comes right up. It's on KU as well if you're interested. Let's see. Did I talk about Blazing Eye Sees All last week? I think I did. Let me check. I just have a stack of books right here that I feel like perhaps I need to. Yeah, I did. Okay. It was good. It was good. So the other 5-star, do I have it with me? No. Oh, I don't. No. Was Strange Animals by Jared, what is it, K. Anderson? Yes, K. Anderson. I have a copy coming. I found a cheap one on Pango Books. I'm not gonna lie, it was very exciting for me. This is fantastic. It takes place in the Appalachian Mountains up in like the northern area, so much more north than where I am, but it is still the Appalachians. And it's about a man who, a bus hits him but doesn't hit him, and when he kind of comes to, he has an acorn in his pocket, and this acorn in his pocket is like telling him, urging him, he feels this uncontrollable need to go into the mountains. And so he does, and it's weird there. It's really weird. He sees things he maybe shouldn't be seeing. And his first night there, he's camped outside, he's in his car, and he sees this giant wolf. If you have seen Princess Mononoke, the great beast gods, when they're contaminated with the ick, like the oily ick, I can't remember what it's called. It's a wolf that kind of looks like that, and a skull head, and it approaches him and harms him. It doesn't kill him. It's like investigating him, right? It's like, it's a wolf. It's like, what are you? But it manages to hurt him in that process. And then he meets a woman, and he gets tangled up in the crypto-naturalist world. He becomes basically a cryptozoologist, but a naturalist because he can see these things and he can interact with them. And it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. If you are a fan of TJ Klune and his style, the like whimsy but beautiful writing of it, and mix in, like I said, a little bit of like Ghibli visuals, this is great. And it's a paranormal, so it's so good. It's set, like I said, in Appalachian Mountains. We've got giant beasts, we've got beasts from other dimensions, and there is this almost purple prose to it that's just so well done. I really loved this. I feel like the cover doesn't quite do it justice, but I do like the cover regardless. So this was a fantastic read for me. It just came out. I really loved it. If you can get your hands on a copy, it's worth the read. I think it's worth the read. Download a sample and try it out to see what you think, but I think it is well worth the read, especially if you like writing styles like Clune's, that it has a very similar feel to it. And let's see, what was next? Okay, and then I moved on to a horror novel, one that I mentioned a few weeks ago that I was very excited about. It's the About a Place in the Kinki region by Sasuji. This was really good. It wasn't perfect, but it was really good. And this is a collection of stories. This reporter and her friend, not really her friend, former coworker, they are investigating all these paranormal creepypasta style stories that have been submitted to these magazines and newspapers about the areas around the Kinki region. And it all comes to a head when her former coworker friend goes missing. and we start to really see how everything culminates. And this is just collections of testimonies, legends, children's stories, newspaper stories, things like that, that all somehow circle around this mountain, a shrine within it, and the people who've been affected by it. And it was really, really good. I loved how it ended. It really did feel like a creepypasta. I wonder if this was out on the Japanese web somewhere before it became published. Maybe you need to do some research, but it feels like that, right? It feels like something, if you're familiar with that, it feels very much like that. And in the back of it, I did not realize, I'm trying to see, okay, there is a sealed section. I didn't open it till I finished the book, but it's sealed, and it's called source materials, and it's got like copies of letters, very creepy photographs, a few of them. It just kind of adds to the overall feel of it. Really liked this. If you're a person who enjoys horror or the creepypasta stuff, I think it's worth looking into. It's translated, so if you're looking more translated work, it's great. Now, the audiobooks. I have 2 that I have finished so far. Technically 3, because Battle Mage Farmer was an audiobook. We've been cleaning at the in-laws house, right? 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. And we typically drive separately because we're loading up our car with stuff, or one of us goes down and the other drops off the kiddo, that sort of thing. So I have time to listen then, and then when we come home, while kiddo's done with schoolwork and she's playing a game or something, I'm listening to an audiobook in one ear while I sort and clean. So I've been really burning through them. So I finished Battle Mage Farmer, and then I read The Hungry Gods by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This was a library on a whim pickup. My library had this one as one of those always ready book club read audiobooks. And I was like, okay, Adrian Tchaikovsky. He is the author that I continually pick up books from. I have not read all of them, but I just keep collecting his books. So let's read this one. Clearly, I liked it. I bought my own copy. And I'm actually a little angry because these hardcovers are from Solaris, and they do a limited run of these. This one I was able to get, and the next one doesn't come out till, I think, September. But the first one and this little arc, this little series, Saturation Point, it's nigh unto impossible to find in hardcover, and I want to read it and then have it so I have a matching set, but unless I pay $60, I'm not gonna have that. Anyway, that's an aside. The Hungry Gods is about this girl who is part of the rabbit tribe, and as part of the rabbit tribe, she is just scrounging for wood to light the fires that boil the cauldrons that cleanse the water in this desolate, post-apocalypse world. There used to be a city, there is no city. There are just tribes of animal-named people who interfight and mingle and just barely survive, till she is captured by the seagull. And while the seagull are mocking her and getting ready to kill her, 4 great meteors come down out of the sky, and the gods have returned. What it is 4 men have returned to Earth to do something to Earth. Each of them has a different idea of what they're going to do, and she gets entangled with one who wants to stop the other 3, control the other 3. It's really good. It's only 176 pages. It's a novella. It was less than 5 hours. I think it was 3.5 at my listening speed. Emma Newman did the audiobook, who is also a science fiction author, and her narration style was fantastic. This was really good. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I loved the idea. I loved how it ended. This was just fantastic overall for me. I don't have a big complaint about it. It just didn't have the oomph, a 5-star oomph, but it was still really good. It was good enough that I wanted my own copy of it to have on my shelves to reread in the future. So there's that. And the last thing that I finished was another 5-star, and it was another audiobook, and I cannot stress to you how much I adored the narration on this audiobook, and that's Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. This is also one of my shame books. I call them my shame books when I get an e-arc of the book before it comes out, and then I never get to the e-arc. I have a physical copy at some point, and I still haven't gotten to it, and then I finally got a copy of the audiobook through the library, and I read it. This is a shame book, but you know what? It's a 5-star. This is about Goodstab, and Goodstab is a Blackfoot, and he is turned into a Catman, a vampire, at the beginning of the novel. Now, how this is structured is the very beginning of this, we meet she's not a grad student, she is trying to apply for tenure at the college that she works at, this one young lady named Etsy, and she's given a journal that was dug out of a wall that belonged to her great 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 some grandfather. So she begins reading the grandfather's journals. So then we see his life, and he is a Lutheran pastor in a little town out west. He is a greedy little man. And then he begins taking the confessions of Goodstab, who is a Native American man who, as we find out, is a vampire. I mean, we know him as a vampire. He doesn't understand what he is. He calls himself a cat man. There's a cat man in himself. And it is his story of how he became a cat man and how he deals with that and how he became the hunter of the buffalo hunters. If you're at all familiar with American history, you will know that the white men, the Europeans, all them people, when they came over, they killed the buffalo just for the hides. They would leave them sitting out and just rotting, and they wouldn't take the meat, they would just take the hides, and effectively wiped out the buffalo. And so he begins to take revenge. This whole thing is it's talking about greed, it's talking about the violence against the nature, about the Native Americans, all of this stuff. And it is a true horror. There is a lot of graphic and disturbing stuff in it. But like I told my husband, it's very easy to make this American history a horror novel when so many things that were done to these people and these creatures was just horrific at the beginning. But he takes it a step further, and he really adds that paranormal bent. He really adds a very good, the violence of everything. It's just fantastic. I can't really talk about it coherently because I'm still kind of basking in how much I loved it, and the audio narration was so incredible. We had 3 different audiobook narrators, one for each part. Even Stephen Graham Jones chimed in at the end for his own acknowledgments, which was nice. And the way they blended the narrators between segments, there was times when our modern day, our female narrator, she kind of uses a tape recorder at one point, like a handheld, and they made it sound like she's actually carrying a handheld tape recorder. It was just fantastic. I really loved it. And I think maybe part of why I loved it so much, especially on reflection, is that I feel like my father-in-law would have loved it. The more I think about it, he was part of the Cherokee tribe, and he loved history stuff, and he liked movies, and this feels very much like a movie, and I loved it. The more I think about it, I think he would have loved it. And so it's kind of etching its way slowly into a special place in my heart. So it's going to be something I reread. I didn't read it physically, so I don't have any notes or annotations in it. So I need to do that. There is a very pretty paperback version coming out in July. I highly recommend if you've not read it and you're into horror books or you're interested in this. The paperback is going to have red sprayed edges with little white buffaloes on it because there is a little white buffalo in the story. Weasel Plume. Oh man. So good. Read it if you have not. I can't recommend it enough. I loved it. Oh, wait. I forgot one. Wait. Okay, I'm going to put this in before I say bye, but I forgot a book I read and really didn't like. Sorry. City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. I'm not going to give a huge summary on this one because I really didn't like it. But it is getting traditionally published, I think, in April. So I had an e-arc. I also had a physical book, but I'm giving it to a friend, I think, who will enjoy it more than me. I had the indie copies of the first 2 books. I got them at the used bookstore, so I didn't actually spend money on them. I spent trade-in credit, and for that I am glad. This is a far, far too long urban fantasy about a girl who doesn't know her family or her lineage. Don't worry, you figure it out quick. But she gets caught up when her friend is kidnapped. Instead of her, they were trying to get her and they got her friend, and she has to go to this guy, this notorious bounty hunter, who's gonna help her find her friend and find out what's going on, why they want her, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. I really liked it at first. I did really like it because I grew up devouring the urban fantasy paranormal books of the early 2000s, late 90s. Yeah, I love that stuff. But then it just never stopped. It never stopped. And I'm going to be honest with you, these 2, the chemistry, it just felt like insta-lust. It just felt like I want to get in your pants. This girl's walking around in shorts and skirts that barely cover her ass. And we hear about it all the time. I don't care if she's wearing it, but I want to stop hearing about this guy wanting to look. I'm sorry. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't for me. I don't know what to tell you. So, there's that. I think I'm reaching a point in my romanticy journey where I'm starting to really get burnt out, especially on some of these popular ones, which is why I'm impressed I'm liking The Poisoner so much. Anyway, I forgot that. I thought I'd throw it in. It wasn't for me. That's okay. I'm passing my copies on to someone who will enjoy them. Okay, bye. That's everything I have read. Now, everything I am reading, I am currently listening to, I didn't bring it down, I'm listening to The British Are Coming by Rick Atkinson, which is the first in his trilogy about not the Civil War, the Revolutionary War history. It's a narrative nonfiction. I have that from the library, so I'm going to listen to that, and then I'm going to read the fourth Battle Mage Farmer. So hopefully I'll have finished that by the time I talk to you guys again. I am halfway through The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. I had no intentions of actually reading this, but I was really sad one day. And I went to Target with my daughter, and I bought it on a whim. And then it's just got a very dark and moody writing style that's just working for me. If you've read Pits and Poison, which I think has a new name now, and I don't remember what it is, by R. Rada, this feels in tone and style very similar to that. Very similar to that. And I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I am still working on Rabbit. I'm not gotten very far, clearly. This was the Morbidly Curious book club book for February. I need to finish it because the March's book called Whack, A History of the Axe and stuff, I think that one looks really fun, and I really want to read that, but I want to read this one first. And finally, the ebook that I'm working on is Artifact Space by Miles Cameron. I'm a little behind. This one came out in January last month, and I have a copy from Saga Press, but I'm also reading it on my ebook. I'm a little further than this now. Things are picking up, and I'm really enjoying it. This is a fantastic space opera so far. I'm really liking it. Nabarro, our main character, she's very fun. I like her a lot. She's messy, and I think that's probably my favorite thing about her. But yes, that's everything that I'm currently reading, everything I have read. Oh, I'm so sorry. I jiggled you. Please read Buffalo Hunter Hunter if you haven't. I am such a big fan of Stephen Graham Jones now. I didn't grow up watching scary movies and stuff, so I don't have a lot of scary movie knowledge. So I haven't read his Angel Lake trilogy, but I really want to. And I told my husband, we just got a retro TV setup started. We found an old VCR in the house in the back, and it still worked. And he got a box TV from our best friend whose papaw passed away a year or two ago, and he had an old box TV, so we got that from them. So now we can watch like VHS movies, and we got a DVD player too. I told my husband I want to watch a lot of the old horror movies that I missed from growing up, so I can like fluff up my horror movie knowledge, and then I can read the Angel Lake trilogy. If you have any recommendations, and I'm talking, I didn't watch any of it growing up, right? My parents were a little conservative, so I didn't watch any of that stuff. I think we have Scream, and maybe a couple others, but any recommendations on horror movies that I need to watch, especially to read his trilogy, please let me know. Please let me know. That is it. That's everything that I read in the past 2 weeks, and I will talk to you guys again soon in my next video. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.